What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including another WWE star injured, what is actually going on with Johnny Gargano, Road Dogg has been exposed, this is actually a huge lie in WWE, AJ Styles' son signs with TNA, watching WWE is about to get much more expensive, 3 years ago today we lost Bray Wyatt, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on our new Facebook page. Now let's see the intro and get straight into our first story. Now first story looks at bad news as another WWE star is injured. Now, our top story today looks at yet another WWE injury, as it's been confirmed that Matt Cardona has suffered a torn triceps. The former US champion took to X to reveal the news, and he's ensured fans that he'll keep them updated throughout his injury and subsequent recovery. He mentioned on X, "I wish my arm was this jacked. Unfortunately, it's just swollen because I tore my tricep in a match on Friday night. I still went to the gym today and did legs. I'll keep you updated. I'm not finished." Now this is terrible news, especially as Cardona looked to be entering into a mini TV feud with the ring general Gunther. The torn triceps is unfortunately an incredibly serious injury, as it's the injury that currently has Logan Paul and Bronson Reed on the shelf right now. In relation to recovery time, it varies for this type of injury, yet the maximum amount of time we can expect Cardona out is around 12 months. With Cardona out of action indefinitely, WWE has to move names into an active role on SmackDown. Names such as Johnny Gargano and Ricky Saints need to take on big roles on TV. It's really interesting to see how WWE copes with yet another injury on the main roster. This really isn't great for the Cardona family, as both husband and wife are currently injured. But what is the truth behind Johnny Gargano? Well, there's a ton of mixed reports relating to the WWE status of Johnny Gargano. Yesterday was reported by an array of sources that Gargano has amended his social media bios and was now taking outside bookings, something you can't do in WWE under contract. This naturally led to fans assuming that Gargano had been released. However, it turns out that Gargano hadn't changed his bios and they've been the same ever since his WWE main roster debut a number of years ago. Additionally, it was reported by False Finish that Gargano is still listed on the internal roster in WWE and has not been released. But this is where the situation gets a little unusual. The former head writer for SmackDown, Road Dogg, randomly took to Facebook to imply that Gargano was no longer with WWE and even attached an AI image of Gargano debuting at All In. Johnny was a Hunter guy, but I was too. The times they are changing. Time marches on. Is this a case of Road Dogg knowing insider information related to Gargano's status? After all, he still has a number of contacts in the company, so this isn't something that we can rule out. However, the more likely option is that Road Dogg saw the incorrect reports on X and then just decided to run with it. Whilst Gargano remains on the WWE roster, well, at least for now, it's been reported by Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer that a number of WWE contracts are set to expire in October this year. The report also noted that most of these contracts were names that WWE weren't currently using on television in an active role. It's entirely possible that this extends to Gargano, as currently on SmackDown, he's just getting paid a significant amount of money to just, well, literally lie around. He hasn't wrestled on TV in months, and it could be argued that it's a waste of time of him being in WWE right now, as WWE clearly have no intention of having him wrestle. Next up, Road Dogg's been exposed. Now speaking of Road Dogg, he came under fire last week for making a bold allegation towards AEW and Tony Khan. The former WWE writer claimed that he wasn't brought into AEW due to his political beliefs. Fans had a real tough time accepting this, especially with Road Dogg making a habit of burying AEW any chance he could get, and even labeled their product as looking like an indie show back in 2022. The reputable Fightful Select have now since asked the AEW source regarding Road Dogg's claims, and they've outright denied it. I had someone in AEW reach out to me and say that's not why we didn't bring him in. It just wasn't the option. Road Dogg's reputation was clearly in the gutter after months of inferior SmackDown product, as well as a less than stellar portrayal on WWE's Unreal Netflix series. It's kind of an unusual move for Road Dogg to make this assumption, as it could have easily been verified, and now he has no leg to stand on, and has likely lost any chance of the company ever hiring him in any capacity. Guess a lie will always come back to haunt you. Next up, a legend unhappy with the release. AJ Styles tried to put over Ilya Dragunov any chance he could get on his podcast, and now the WWE Hall of Famer has had the opportunity to react to his release. Speaking on his podcast this morning, AJ admitted that he's sad about the situation and he doesn't have a clue what's going on.
I know that I'm very sad about this situation. He's I enjoy his work very much. So I don't know what's going on. I can't say much about it because you'd think I know. I work for the company, but my place is in the coaching and the talent and little things to hopefully help make WWE better and build that foundation for them with the younger talent and stuff like that. So I don't know what's going on. I just know, holy crap. That's about all I know.
Sadly, we'll never get to see Dragunov versus AJ in WWE, and now with AJ fully retired and Dragunov released, it's going to be a match that is exclusively played out in video game form only. Next up, this is actually a huge lie in WWE. A former WWE champion, Jinder Mahal, has now cleared up a long-running misunderstanding surrounding what wrestling fans commonly call WWE's 90-day non-compete clause. Discussion around the rule resurfaced following Ilya Dragunov's departure from WWE, with fans questioning whether he would need to wait the 90 days before appearing for another wrestling promotion. But Mahal explained that the situation is different depending on whether WWE terminates a wrestler's deal or the wrestler simply reaches the end of their contract. And according to Mahal, there's no such thing as a 90-day non-compete clause in the way it's commonly described. Mahal took to TikTok to explain the situation.
There is no such thing as a no-compete clause in WWE. Now, this may be confusing because everybody has heard about the infamous 90-day no-compete clause. When you sign a WWE contract, in the writing it states WWE can terminate your contract with 90 days notice. So when you receive the phone call, it's them letting you know that in 90 days, your contract is cut. They will pay you for the 90 days. That distinction is very important because if it was a no-compete clause, you would not get paid for 90 days. For 90 days, you are still under WWE contract. Now, WWE will pull you from all of its shows, all of its television, live events, everything for liability reasons. If you get injured, now they have to pay for your surgery, they have to pay for your rehab. Also, it's a risk putting a wrestler on live television that knows that their contract is going to be up. They might go into business for themselves. They might do something that doesn't reflect WWE's image. In my opinion, WWE paying you for 90 days is an incredible gesture. It gives you time to reorganize your life. You're not making moves out of desperation or anger, and it actually protects both parties. Let me know what you guys think.
Now that distinction is quite important. WWE is not ending the contract immediately and then preventing the wrestler from competing elsewhere. The wrestler is still contracted to WWE through the 90-day period, but once that period finishes, the contract ends and the performer becomes free to work elsewhere. Next up is the WWE boom period back. The SmackDown last week was a major success for WWE. The show obtained the highest live attendance in 2026 so far for a SmackDown broadcast, and all through the show, WWE cited just how large the crowd actually was. For one of the first times in 2026, WWE actually had a reason to brag, as it's been revealed that the show was the highest grossing event WWE has ever had in Toronto. The story comes from Fightful Select, who added that the news is being touted internally in WWE. WWE's internally touted Friday SmackDown as the highest grossing they've ever had in Toronto. The Punk vs. Owens WWE title match was clearly a big draw for the company, and a few weeks of consistent episodes of SmackDown has led to fans parting way with their money. This is a simple formula for WWE and one they've been able to master over the past 12 months or so. Fans want to invest their money when the product is good and consistent, but if the product is subpar and the company is offering a mid-product, then the attendance is drastically going to dip. It's simple economics at the end of the day, and hopefully this leads to WWE putting considerable more effort into their weekly product, especially with the Blue brand, which has been pushed aside in favor of Raw since the Netflix move. And just to let you guys know, Raw is going to be airing 2 hours earlier than usual tonight, and it's also going to be taping SmackDown, so expect spoilers in the week. Next up, AJ Styles' son signs with TNA. Now, Avery Styles, a 19-year-old son of wrestling legend AJ Styles, has now officially signed with TNA Wrestling, beginning his own journey with a promotion that played such an important role in his father's career. Avery announced the news during TNA's Lockdown pay-per-view last night after being introduced by Gia Miller. He acknowledged the significance TNA had in transforming AJ Styles into the star he eventually became and suggested the company could now play a similarly important role in his own development. And the announcement was interrupted by veteran Frankie Kazarian, who reflected on the close relationship he developed with AJ, Samoa Joe, and Christopher Daniels during TNA's earlier years. He warned Avery that his famous surname could make him a target backstage and claimed that there would be people he should be careful about trusting. What is cool is that Avery has debuted at the exact same pay-per-view that his father was at 21 years ago, both being lockdowns. This must have been an awesome moment not just for Avery Styles, but for his father AJ. Next up, a WWE name calls out scalpers. Yet again, a WWE name has been forced to take to social media to call out the conduct of other human beings. According to Paige, she had a scalper waiting for her when she got off the plane yesterday, and the scalper had 30 photos for her to sign. Airport scalpers are morphing. I had someone waiting for me as I was getting off the plane at the gate of my connecting flight with like 30 pictures. I'm easygoing with this stuff, but pulling up to my gate is effing weirdo behavior. Don't do that. This is incredibly concerning, as it's rightly been questioned how on earth the scalper knew what flight the former Divas champion would even be on. Instances of wrestlers being made uncomfortable by fans and scalpers has now become increasingly common over the past few years, and we've even seen instances of wrestlers getting hounded in public with limited security attached to them. When is the madness gonna stop? Next up, who produced this WWE Classic? And one of the standout matches of 2026 so far was Chad Gable vs Rey Mysterio on Raw. A lot of fans label the match as Mysterio's best match in years, and some fans are calling it one of the best in-ring matches ever seen on the Red brand. And this is Mysterio at 51 years of age. In relation to who produced the match, it turns out that this was Bobby Roode and Michael Hayes as per Fightful Select. Roode and Hayes traditionally produce the main events of PLEs, and the duo are usually reserved for the matches of Roman Reigns. This goes to show how big WWE wanted the match to come across on television, and it could have easily headlined a Raw or a future PLE if WWE wanted it to be positioned in that role. Next up, watching WWE is about to get more expensive. Now, ESPN confirmed over the weekend that ESPN Unlimited, the streaming platform for WWE PLEs, will now see a price increase taking effect September 17th. The monthly subscription will increase from $29 to $31.99, while the annual subscription goes from $299 to $319.99. This is a really bold move from the platform, especially as the vast majority of WWE PLEs in 2026 haven't been anything special, and whether they warrant a $32 price tag is certainly up for debate. There's likely going to be an uptake in fans using a VPN, something that we encourage as you'll get 75% off and 3 months extra when you sign up using the link in the description. This will be that fans can use their existing Netflix account to watch the PLE broadcast. Now, it goes without saying that $32 a month to watch a WWE PLE is incredibly expensive, especially when you exclusively use the platform for WWE content only. Next up, WWE burying a star. Now, our next story looks at concerns from fans that WWE are outright burying Candice LeRae. Over the weekend, a stat surfaced on X that revealed that the talented star had just one, yes, one WWE main roster match in 2026. This is extremely alarming, and it makes no sense for WWE to have one of the best in-ring workers in the entire company under contract and not use her in any capacity. There is speculation online that LeRae could end up exiting the company when the deal expires, and this honestly wouldn't come as a big surprise, but some wrestlers simply want to perform and wrestle at the highest level whilst they're in their peak, and she's not even given that opportunity at present. And finally, 3 years ago, we lost Bray Wyatt. Now, it's hard to believe that it's been now 3 years since the world lost Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt, who had passed away unexpectedly at just 36 years old, was confirmed by WWE Chief Content Officer Paul Triple H Levesque after he was informed by Wyatt's father Mike Rotunda. Obviously, any wrestler's passing is a sad situation, but when we lost Bray Wyatt, it hit a lot harder. Wyatt proved that professional wrestling could be about more than just matches and championships. His incredible imagination allowed him to create unforgettable characters, from the mysterious leader of the Wyatt family to the frightening and very complex character The Fiend. Wyatt was one who was never afraid to reinvent himself, even after successful gimmicks. His passion for storytelling encouraged wrestlers to embrace creativity and individuality. His legacy continues to inspire performers and fans to believe that being different can become your greatest strength. We miss you, Bray.